This, ladies and gentlemen, is the GWM Cannon. Now, we actually have a review of this vehicle here on our YouTube channel, but for 2025, it's gotten an update. With that out of the way, Jack and I decided to play a guessing game, and I thought about 1,750,000 Philippine pesos, which is pretty darn good already. I was floored when he told me 1,498,000 Philippine pesos. And it doesn't start at that price. It maxes out with the 4x4 at that price. Compared to the previous model, the price increase on this truck is zero. Now, we feel that this truck to GWM is basically what the ZS is to MG, or the Coolray was to Geely, or better yet, the Sea Lion 6 to BYD. And because of that price, if you didn't know what GWM was, you will today. Underneath, you've got a 2.4-liter four-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine that pushes out 181 horses and 480 newton meters of torque, mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, it is a 4x4 that is controlled by intelligent four-wheel drive and a torque-on-demand system, which basically means it can push the power up to the front wheels or the rear wheels depending on the traction and road conditions. Essentially, it's like an all-wheel drive system. And for when the terrain gets especially tough, it does have a 4L mode and a rear locking diff, making it a pretty capable truck out of the box. On the outside, it generally retains a similar look. The grille has been updated and is now blacked out, which I very much prefer over the chrome look from before. It's very subtle, despite it being very large. Wheels have a new design too, and they are 18s wrapped in 265/60 highway terrain tires, and that contributes to the Cannon's 232 millimeters of ground clearance and a wading depth of 800 millimeters. There are also a pair of updates for the bed. First, the roll bars on the sides are now all blacked out. Open the assisted tailgate, and get this, something that you don't see on cars at this price point, more the expensive ones. Push here, and boom, you've got a step to easily help you access the bed. Don't worry, Jack. No golfing today. Roll the clips. Oh my God.
Too much? Too much?
There's more than enough room for me to pose.
Stop!
What? Wow, temper. Hey Jack, look, it's the same ball. The total payload capacity of the Cannon is par for the course at 1,050 kilograms. And the same can be said for the dimensions, which it's a pretty standard size bed. As you would expect with the rear seats of a pickup truck, there really isn't much to report about. It is a bench, although it's a little less benchy than you would expect because it's a bit recessed and there is a nice, comfortable lean to it. The material is nice and firm, not a lot of bolstering, so if it's in and out or ingress and egress that you're looking for, that's very easy to do. Toys back here include 2 air vents up front, 2 USB charging points, type A, and a small little cubby holder in the center. But there is a center armrest. Unfortunately, there are no cup holders in the center armrest because they are on either side of the door. And they're actually pretty darn big because this is Jack's pretty hefty bottle and it does fit in the door very, very easily. And also, if for some strange reason you need more space than what the bed offers you, or you want to keep things away from the elements, the seats do fold up in this manner and it locks into place, so you can place taller stuff in here without it getting wet in this torrential downpour. Oh. Bam! Look at this. Oh, wow. Look at that. I'm like... That's a lot of space. The interior up front is a very nice upgrade from what it was before. First, we'll start with the 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system that is integrated very well into the dash. I like that. And of course, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but in this case, it has wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which is a yay for Jack and I both. Also, it has an around view monitor, cameras all around the car, which is pretty neat because when you pop it in reverse or when you're crawling really forward, it literally paints a picture of what's underneath your car so you can tell when you're going through rough terrains about where you need to go or where you have to go. But realistically, you're probably going to use it more inside the city when you're parking this car, which means no excuse kung tabi niya yung parking mo. Mm-mm. The material all around is great too. It feels more plush than it does utilitarian, which it definitely can be. It's just, it's nice and it's great and it can be elegant. Well, as elegant can be in a pickup truck at this price point. Because if you think about it, at this price point, I hate to bring it up again, but it's very important that other manufacturers would have pickup trucks that perhaps aren't 4x4s, they're only 4x2s. They don't have the larger screens. They could be manual transmission. And instead of leather, you could have cloth seats. So really, I don't think it's going to get much nicer than this, especially if you're talking about a truck that's under 1.5 million Philippine pesos. You got to give it props. The other cool thing about this car is, at this price point, I'm going to mention it again, is that it's got a full suite of advanced driver assist system. From lane keep assist to lane departure warning to rear cross traffic alert to front collision mitigation and also adaptive cruise, which is a win for Jack, but not so much me, but I'll take it anyway. The one thing that I do not like, however, is that the controls of the cruise are on the stock. I have never been a fan of this. Jack's shaking his head right now. I don't like it there. I like it on the steering wheel because if you're not used to the automobile, then you kind of have to peek in sort of like odd manner. I'm speaking, Jack. Like you have to look in other manners to see which one is which. Now, Jack's about to say, but if you own the car, you know it. And what if you're still new to the car, if you're getting used to it? No, 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 shh. But the great thing about this ADAS system in here is that you have full control of it inside your infotainment. You can turn specific things on and off. Plus, it does not reset every time you turn the car off. Which, if it weren't raining right now, Jack and I would be standing outside giving it a standing ovation. Other manufacturers, please take note. It's not that hard. And finally, before we get out on a drive, getting into your proper driving position is a cinch because you do have a telescopic steering wheel, like so, and you've got power seats to move you up and forward and down and back. Plus, here's the best part, again, at this price point. Cool seats! Cool seats! How do I get to my cool seats? It should be easy enough, right? Okay, so that's another issue about this thing. A lot of the controls we can't afford music are on the screen, so that's going to be there's no physical volume button. Aircon, aircon there. Okay, and then there, no, there, driver's seat on. Ay. I would first like to address the elephant in the room, which is we don't have a lot of tracking shots of this vehicle because, as the weather would suggest, it's kind of bad out there. And unfortunately, both Jack and the camera are like IPX negative 60. So cut the camera and Jack some slack. Okay, good. Now, on to the drive itself. The first thing that I noticed was its torque. It is delivered almost instantaneously, whether you're at a low RPM or at a high RPM. It feels like it wants to leave you in its tracks immediately, which is great, but not so good when you're inside the city. So I noticed to control it better inside the city, thankfully, there's an eco mode. Speaking of eco mode, we were able to produce 15 kilometers per liter inside this vehicle. That's a combined figure for a bit of heavy traffic inside the city and I wouldn't say heavy traffic on the highways, just slow moving. I mean, it is, after all, raining. By the way, I'd like to add this. If it's raining, lights on, hazards off. Got it? And if you can't see, slow down. That's all there is to it. Steering feel is actually quite light, which, by the way, you can adjust because there is a normal mode, there's a light mode, and then there's a sport mode. Now it will obviously adjust the steering weight depending on that particular drive mode that you're on. Now, even if you put it at sport, which is it's at its heaviest, it's not going to be as heavy as, let's say, for example, a Triton. Far from it. So if you're used to lighter steering wheels, like let's say, for example, a Ford, then this might be definitely up your alley. The suspension is really par for the course, is what you would expect from any pickup truck. It's stiff and a little bit bouncy, but it feels very, very rugged. So again, typical for a pickup truck. Well, apart from its price. Sorry, I had to mention that again. It's just under 1.5. But it does make up for it for what I would call a generally quiet cabin. Engine noise isn't an issue, road noise isn't an issue, even wind noise, not really much of an issue. But we were on the highway, well, apart from the rain, but there's really not much that will bother the cabin. I'd also like to add that the total design of the truck, inside and out, isn't exactly sitting atop of a mountain shouting, "Look at me." No, it's not that. It's not like, let's say, for example, the Shark 6 DMI. But it's got the chops and the functionality to do everything that you want it to do. It's got a new motor. It's got all these features. And then again, that damn price point. The price point basically does all the talking for the truck. I can completely understand why most people don't understand or know what the Cannon is because, well, essentially, GWM is a relatively new brand to our market that's trying to break into the pickup truck segment, by the way, which is completely, oh my gosh, competitive. But now, oh boy, with all the features, a new motor, and a price point that is currently unbeatable, I don't understand why this truck wouldn't be on your radar. Look, download the AutoDeal app, iOS or Android, connect to a dealer closest to you, take it out for a test drive, and see what it is I'm going on about.